Começamos mais um PodhBe e muito obrigado se você está assistindo pela primeira vez. Meu nome é João Augusto, eu sou apresentador aqui do podcast e a gente tem também o Pod Astral e o Pod Cooks. Vamos começar então falando que esse episódio vai ser em inglês. E isso significa o quê? Que tudo será falando em inglês, lógico. E a gente tem legendas também em português, vai ter, tá bom, gente? Então vamos apresentar a nossa convidada. Our guest is from Perth. She's Australian drag queen and she's very talented fashion diva. And she's very tall, by the way. She was coming here in this summer of 40 degrees and she's stunning. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Miss Cara Queen. Hello, darling. 300 claps for you.
Woo, thank you.
Yes, welcome to PodhBe. Thanks so much again. Something happened here before, guys. I was thinking was recording, wasn't recording at all.
Shh, we don't kiss and tell. This hasn't happened before.
No. Listen, it's good to tell people this because humans have mistakes. So everybody does mistakes. And
yes, absolutely.
So thank you so much for coming again. So by the way, this is for you. This is our gift from PodhBe.
Oh, thank you so much.
It is a product for our podcast. So it's a stub holder, and you have a can opener.
Work. Okay, let me. Oh, yes.
Do you like this color or you want something more shocking?
No, this is perfect.
Oh, that's cute.
Oh, my God. Okay. Here we go.
Beautiful.
Now, if you're watching, you can see... Yes! How fabulous! Thank you so much.
No, thank you so much for that. Thank you for coming. So people want to know you. People want to get to know better. So who are you, Miss Cara?
I'm Miss Cara. I'm a drag queen, diva, MC, clown, host. Out of drag, my name is Presley. Drag is like my persona. It's a character. It's the embodiment of so many different parts of my life that has formed into what you see in front of you.
Yeah, I can see it. That is amazing. How did you start to be a drag?
How did I start? Well, I started working at Connections nightclub out of drag, and every year they do a staff competition where the drag queens get the staff in drag.
Yeah.
And I didn't really want to do it. I was kind of like umming and ahhing and I don't know. And so I started to like play with makeup and started to do it. And then the fabulous Delvira Midnight, who works at Connections, put me in drag, and I caught what we call like the drag sickness, and I can't get rid of it. And it spiraled from there, and here we are, like 4.5 years later. I haven't stopped.
Wow, 4.5 years later. And so, and then as soon as you see yourself as a drag, did you feel like, oh my gosh, what's happening? Or you feel like, wow, how fabulous is it to be a drag?
I guess I didn't really know a ton about drag. I come from like a performing arts background, like super musical theatre-y and showy and tap dancey and ha. And so when I kind of discovered drag, it took all my favorite parts of performing and pushed away all the parts that I didn't like. I feel like for so long, when I was performing as a boy, I was told that I wasn't masculine enough, or my body wasn't right, or a lot of things that I couldn't change or I didn't want to change that I had to like get work or to perform. And the moment I started drag, all of those rules kind of went out the window. And the whole fun of drag is you can kind of make your own rules and kind of play it by like your own story. And that's what I started to do, and I fell in love.
You fell in love, yes. How long it takes for you to be a drag, like in terms of preparation? Because I know it all depends of your character. Did you choose to be a character to be more open? Because I know there is two personas. You as a gay person and you as to be a drag. So it's different two personas, or it's the same persona?
Really great question. For me personally, they are really separate. Like my drag like character and personality is quite different than how I am sometimes as a boy. Not to say that they don't cross over, they do all the time.
They do sometimes.
Yeah, I take bits of Presley and I take bits of Cara whenever I'm in drag or out of drag. And it's not the same for everyone. Some people, you see what you get in and out of drag, but part of my drag is I love like looking in the mirror as I get ready and kind of like summoning my like character. And once the kind of earrings go on, the shoes go on, I kind of like feel her arrive in me and then like it's
clicking.
on. Yeah.
Yeah.
It turns on.
Oh my gosh, I can imagine. How did you figure out like the name? Because the name it looks like the Italian name, Cara. Cara is something that's expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, I actually wanted a different drag name when I started.
Really?
Yeah, I wanted to be Priscilla Mascara was like the one that I was like, if I'm gonna do drag, that's what it's gonna be. And all of the drag queens at Connections looked at me and they were like, that is the stupidest name. Like, do not use that name whatsoever. And I was like, oh my God. And at the time I had a mustache and I was quite, I wore like all these black tank tops and I was like a little bit masculine, a little bit bigger, and a little bit more musclier at the time. And so someone wanted to call me Mask Cara because I'm so masculine. I was like, oh my God, no, I can't do that. What about Miss Cara? And it kind of grew. And it kind of stuck, and here we are. It's also a play on words of like my last name as well, out of drag, is Masara. And so I kind of like, there's like a double hidden meaning between my drag name, which I really like.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah. And do you think it's like here in Perth, it's more open to be a drag, to become a drag, to start to be a drag?
Yeah, I think it's, it obviously has its challenges, just like anything.
Like how, for example?
I think like entering any kind of performing arts space, whether it be like drag, comedy, burlesque, circus, singing, dancing, anything like that, if you don't have someone to help you or someone who has done all the hard yards, it's really hard to like figure out what to do and how to break into that like industry and society, especially if a lot of drag queens have drag mothers or people to kind of guide them. But when I was first starting out, I didn't really have anyone that was like, this is what you should do. This is how you get work. So it is a bit tricky, but I think in Perth now, there are so many avenues you can go down. There are so many open mic nights. There are so many things you can apply for to perform in or just show up to. And even with social media nowadays, like you and I both know that you can have a whole range of different audience members that you wouldn't even see on stage by like Instagram and Facebook and X and TikTok and all that stuff. So I think it is like easier nowadays to like break into that industry because of social media, but I think it also can be harder because there's so much like exposure and content online and there's so much competition now and so many different people. So it's you know, it's how you take it. It can be easy, it can be hard. It's how much effort you put into it, I guess.
Yeah. So when you're developing your character, okay, your persona, so in terms of investment of the outfit, did you think like could be a little bit complicated? Because in terms of, I had never seen some drag make the same outfit twice, and like of course if you're going to know other nightclub, yes, but in different days, how do you guys manage that?
I guess that's part of the like my art and the fun of it. Like part of drag and my drag is like wearing all these fabulous costumes, and each costume I wear kind of sometimes invokes a different kind of emotion or a different personality. Like if I'm wearing like my big purple foam wig and a big purple sequin gown, I'm probably going to act a little bit differently than if I'm wearing like a bra and a panty and a human hair wig and like I'm going nuts. But in terms of the investment, I guess it is what you make of it. You can spend a ton of money on drag, and drag can be quite cheap. You just have to know where to look and where to buy. And after doing drag for a while, you kind of get a repertoire of like fabrics and wigs and broken jewelry, and you kind of just like glue stuff together and figure it all out. But in the investment, it can be tricky when you first start out because, you know, makeup and hair and tights and, you know, things break that you've got to replace and things run out. And if you want to get costumes made or hairstyled, if you don't do any of that, it can be super expensive. But I think of it as it's me investing like my money into like my art and trying to like upskill myself. Like, you know, if you're a doctor, you got to do 7 years of med school or whatever to kind of learn the tricks of the trade, and I kind of put it in that way. Like I'm investing money that I would otherwise invest elsewhere into like education to upskill myself to like buy more equipment or get bigger things for my stage shows. Or it's not just like what I wear, but in terms of things for my brand and like my business as Cara, and all that stuff. But yeah, it's hard, but
It's
manageable.
hard. Yeah, so what you are specialized? Some people are more about comedy. I can see you are very funny, charismatic. So of course, presentations, things that you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So what else do you do as a drag, as an artist? Because it's an artist. It's not just about the drag.
Of course. I would say my biggest thing in drag, I love to host and MC like events and shows and rooms, and the biggest thing that pulls me into drag is being able to like hold a microphone in a room full of like 300 people and
Wow.
kind of run the
I would run.
system.
I would run away. It's like, oh, talk about what? Just run away.
Okay, next time I'm at an event with you and I've got the microphone, we'll have a practice.
Hell no. I'll run away straight away.
I love to host an MC. It's something that I'm really passionate about and like I genuinely love. I guess other than that, probably some of the other girls in the scene in the city probably know me for being like really camp, and I guess they would say like a lot of people used to say I was like an old school drag queen because I wore like really big hair and really big makeup and like sequin costumes from like my wrist to my ankles, and I had this persona when I first started that was even more heightened than what I am now, and I was like all of the time. But I guess I would be maybe like a jack of all trades, master of none. I say with the one thing that I maybe don't do all the time is sexy. I leave that to some of my other like sexier sisters. But I can be sexy every
You
now
are
and then.
sexy. Look at you.
Stop flirting with me. We're on camera. My God.
I just a compliment. Yeah. Don't be silly. Question. What about the acceptance for your family in terms of you don't have this thing? I mean, why? Because it's a really taboo in terms of drag in Brazil, the family. Because Brazil is a very religious place. People think like Brazil. I'm from Brazil, okay, guys?
What's the denomination in Brazil?
Drag.
No, as in like the religion?
Many. So you have a Catholic, you have a Protestant, you have I'm gonna say spiritualism. You have many, but people will say sometimes when you see people like us, they feel it's a big taboo. Oh my gosh, you're going to hell.
Yeah.
So do you, because your family is from Italy or half Italy, how is the situation between the family and when they see that you're in drag?
It has been a journey, a road where me and my family are now is like so fabulous.
Amazing.
They've all been to my shows. They've all come to like my fringe shows and seen me at the court and connections, and I do a lot of bars like midweek and bingos and stuff, so they come to all of those. It has been a long, long road. Me and my certain members of my family, I think the drag was less the issue, but I came out probably 2 or 3 years before I started doing drag, and that was probably the biggest hurdle to get over. Similar to your situation and with people in Brazil, I guess Italians and the other part of my family is Irish, is super Catholic and super religious. Before kind of hitting like my late teens, like young adulthood, I would go to church like twice a week. I was like the altar boy for a while. I was in the choir. I was like super religious, and so was my family. Not that you can't be a drag queen and have a belief system and release, or can't be gay and have a belief system. It's just not for me anymore. And I think they were a little bit uneducated on what being gay and what being a drag artist was, and so I think some members of my family were a bit scared and a bit hesitant at first, and it caused a lot of drama. But over time, I guess they have realized that this is like, it is my passion, it is my work, it is my job, it is my life basically, and part of my drag is gender expression, but it doesn't have anything to do with my gender. I identify as a man outside of drag. And so I think, getting over that hurdle, especially with my father, was quite tricky, but we're in like such a fabulous place now. He came to see me when I won Crown of the Court a couple months ago. at the Court Hotel, and he'd never, ever seen me in drag before. Apart from one time he caught me leaving the house like at 1 a.m. in the morning.
Oh my God.
I was like sneaking out and he turned on the lights. It was like a movie. But yeah, we're in a really, really good place now, but it is hard, and not everyone has the same situation as mine. Sometimes it doesn't get better. And sometimes people just from the get-go are, so open to everything. But yeah, that's my experience.
Yes, amazing. Yeah, I'm telling you that because it's hard for my country. You see, the investment is expensive, much more expensive than here. You have some national brands for makeup, which is good, but families is something that is always touch people in terms of the self-acceptance, how they dealing with. They see it's so much the old-fashioned thoughts. There's a worried. Not worried, but it's kind of curious about you guys, because it seems like for us, we are foreigners. You see Australia, it's very open mind, but sometimes I'm really surprised, which is not. Like I see another day was people saying about the books. We have I think it's Koga Morrison was reading a book, and then people start to no, it's not good for the kids. It's like. It is ridiculous. I can accept this in my country because it's sometimes, but here I feel like people are more open than in other countries. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think in the major cities in Australia, people are really open, and I think moving in the next couple of years, the younger generation of Australia is super open to so many society changes. But I think especially in regional areas. My family being from the country, and I travel around the country so much to a lot of small towns, I can see that certain isolated areas of Australia, because they are so detached from everything, and especially in mining towns, which is huge in WA, a lot of these families, they don't have any exposure to anyone like us ever in their entire lives sometimes. So I guess they are probably a bit uneducated and a little bit backwards in some parts of Australia, and then some parts of Australia are super forward and super progressive and super open, and so yeah, I think there's a bit of a mixed situation. I think in the next couple of years, Australia will really move forward, and even from when I came out, which was 8 years ago, I've noticed a difference, especially how young people.
How they feel.
Yeah. But it's hard, especially Australia can sometimes be really, really backwards. It's so interesting. We're so forward on so many things. I used to live in America, and the way they run their government and their system, and the way we have MyGov and Medicare here and stuff is a foreign concept to them, and certain things, or our banks are a million times better over there, but then certain things we do are really backwards, or some of our beliefs are really backwards. So I think it's a mixed batch.
Yeah, that's amazing. Do you think, what's the challenge to be a drag nowadays for yourself?
The challenge, for me, the challenge would be recently I was struggling to live my life as a boy. That was the hardest thing for me. I've been a drag artist for 4.5 years now, but I've been a full-time drag artist since August 2022. I quit my job. It was really dramatic. I was okay, I'm just gonna do it, and sent an email. I was I'm gonna be so broke, but I have to do it for my art, and I love it. So I quit my job, and then I really dove into drag, and I shaved my eyebrows off, and I focused on drag so much that I felt like I wasn't focusing enough on me out of drag as a boy. And I think to every drag artist or performer, or even if you're a business person outside of work and your passion, you need to focus on you and make sure that yourself is whole, and your personal life is all good and everything is going well there, because of that, then your passion and your work, you'll succeed in those areas. But I was finding that my foundations of my life weren't set properly, so then my drag was struggling a bit because of it. So I kind of took a step back and was all right, I need to focus on me as a boy a bit more, and remember that I'm not just haha at the club all the time. And since then, I've really noticed a bit of a kick in my drag, and I'm so much happier with where everything is going right now in my life because I'm not only focusing on Cara, but I'm also focusing on Presley, and they both are, you know, one and the same.
Do you reckon that sometimes people get to know you and they think like you are Miss Cara 24/7?
Yes, it happens all the time, especially my eyebrows are like a really defining feature of my face, and I have really dark hair out of drag. Some people don't even know that like I am Cara or like Cara is Presley. It's really interesting. So many times people know me for so long out of drag be like, I had no idea this is what you looked like out of drag. Like, I had no idea who you are. So yeah, I think that's like funny, the difference between like people, how they perceive you like out of drag and in drag as well is like really different and interesting. Even at the clubs or when you're out and about with a bunch of gays at the Queens or, you know, it's interesting how people like approach you as well, I find. In drag. That's always something that like people will like, I'll have the same conversation the exact same way with one person and the same person in and out of drag, and it'll be like completely different.
Of course.
It's so funny. I guess that's mine.
Yeah. Do you think it's like, I noticed because I see many documentaries and people say, celebrities saying like, oh my gosh, when I'm on the stage, people approach me, they think I am outside the stage 24/7, that situation. And then outside they said, no, you don't look like that person. You're not that person, you're fake. Like, do you reckon, do you feel like these people approach you just because you're persona or just because of your someone different?
I mean, I don't mind when people approach me. I think part of being drag is, you know, you put on this much makeup and this much hair and this much sequin, people are going to approach you. I think people like forget sometimes, especially queer people and people who go out to the clubs and come see fringe shows. They're a bit more educated, but the general punter, and especially I work a lot for like hens nights and bingos and a lot of maybe uneducated straight people that you wouldn't find at connections at like 1 a.m. on a Saturday or at like the queer events and shows and parties that we go to. They sometimes forget that like the drag artist is a person underneath. A lot of people, I would say, treat drag artists like dancing monkeys, or like even when we go to a hen's night, like a stripper, or like they'll just grab you and touch you and like throw you around. And,
who are you, bitch?
Yeah, exactly. Like people have to remember that, like, yes, it's a character, and I'm performing for you, and I'm entertaining, and I'm here to be funny. But like when I take this off, like I'm just a normal person. I'm a guy that watches TV and eats my dinner and goes to bed. Like this isn't like every day. People seem to forget that.
I totally understand, and I totally believe that. Outside Cara, okay. So you just work as a Cara, or you work in a different kind of job now?
No, this is my full, I do some work at Connections out of drag, just every now and then to help out, but. Yeah, I'm usually in drag at 4 days a week is normally like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday is usually pretty busy. So trying to manage the schedule, I guess part of being like a cabaret artist or like a drag artist is that like a lot of times people don't have like management or like an agent or like a PR person to do everything for them. Like I'm the person who books like my schedule, does all of my invoices, does all of my like PR and all my socials, like all of it's me. So I guess trying to like find time in like the busy schedule. There's no other time for I can't have a job. Yeah, I can't commit to it because I'm a perfectionist sometimes, and I really want to focus on what I'm doing.
What's your star sign?
I'm a Virgo.
Oh my gosh, that's a reason.
I'm a Virgo.
Seriously, I'm saying that because my Venus in Virgo, I'm so obsessed to do things in time. This.
Yeah, I fixate on things, and when I was at my full-time job before I decided to really dive into drag, I would sit there for 8 hours a day and just think about what fabric do I have at home? Like, what am I going to perform at the court on Friday? Like, my mind was always thinking about drag, so I just had to, I guess, move away from it and focus on drag. And I was doing like 1 night a week and then 2 nights a week, and then I started touring, and now it's like full on, full time.
That's it. This is a job, darling.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it. It's a full-time job.
It is. People don't realize or people always ask at like hens nights and stuff like, oh, what do you do when you're not doing this? Like, it's just this, babe. It's just this.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you this, not defending people, because I would think the same, because I would think like how much you guys invest in this, like in clothes, makeup, wigs, and you have to be like a shitty things. You have to be a good quality things, because first, people notice, people looking, people are demanding. They want to be the perfect, the best, the things, but sometimes they don't want to go to see it. So it's ridiculous for me. Like, how come you want to someone invest the time, create something new, if you're not going there to watch them?
Exactly. People a lot of the time will talk and comment and post, but then they won't actually make the effort to come and like see what's going on. And that's part of showbiz and that's part of life. It's not good or bad. It just happens.
Who creates your outfits?
I have a designer, or I design some stuff and he designs some stuff, but I pretty much exclusively worked with the one seamstress for the majority of my drag. Pretty much since I started-ish, I've been getting stuff from him. His name's Monty. He runs a business, Centerfront Studios, and it is just, he like really, I know how to work with him so well. And after you work with the one person for a while, I like rock up to his house with a coffee, a fabric, and a dream, and he just like, oh, I think this is what you want, and this is how you like things, so we're gonna do it like this. And he is like my he makes me passionate about drag because he is so knowledgeable and so passionate and so good at what he does that we kind of like work off each other and then create something like fabulous. And he does drag as well, so he really knows what drag artists like look for and want, and little pieces of like undergarments where like the hips and tits are and different things like that. Really, he like knows all that stuff. So yeah, definitely go check him out on the socials.
Absolutely. So the good things and bad things should be on tour.
Oh, how much time do we have?
I can imagine.
I'll get the bad stuff out of the way first, because then I can focus on the good.
Yeah, good on you.
I guess when I've been touring for a while, I have yet to do a tour.
More water?
Like a festival.
Good?
No, I'm all
good.
good. Thank you, darling. I've never done a festival where I've been in the one spot for a long time. Usually when I tour, I'm going to Sydney next week. We've got 6 different shows and it's a different place every night. So it's like a different bed every night. So you kind of have to get ready in the hotel room, do the show, come back, pack up, sleep, and then get in the car and go to the next place. Ooh. So I guess you never really stop, because we get there, then we do sound checks, and then we check out the venue, and then we go back to the motel or hotel and probably have like an hour or 2 of downtime before it's time to get ready. So I guess the schedule and how quick things move is really tricky. That's probably my least favorite part of touring. Everything else, I love to tour so much. We do like a lot of regional places in WA, and we've just started to tour nationally with the company that I work with. And I guess in Perth, a lot of the time, I see a lot of the same people in the audiences quite frequently. And, there are different people every night, but there's a core group of people that come support drag artists really often. And you can do different stuff all the time, but they're very familiar with drag. They kind of know what they're expecting. But when I go to these regional places or when I tour around the place, a lot of the times people very rarely see drag, if at all, and they've never seen me before. So everything I present is like brand new, or they're experiencing it with their eyes for like the first time. And that is my favorite thing ever, to like do something and see like a whole new room of people like experience. Yes. That is like my absolute like favorite. I love it so much.
Amazing. And who inspire you?
Who inspires me?
Do you think it's about more like, if I would be a drag, I think it's more about you can say the divas, and say the singer divas, because you're always looking for the divas and the female divas. You know about the boys, never about the boys, for shitty boys. But you're always looking like Britney, Beyonce, which is released a new song today. It's ridiculous.
Oh my
amazing.
God, yes, I listened to it.
I love it, love it, I
Yeah,
love
me
it. I
too.
said this bitch is gonna make everybody wear a hat,
I know.
a country hat.
I know. We're all gonna have to
everything.
like country music now. My goodness.
I was like, this is ridiculous. But anyway, we're gonna wear. You're gonna be. So, who inspires you to create your shows?
I take so much inspiration from a lot of like different medias. I guess if we're talking about like the divas that I like really look up to and really love their music and get inspired by, Donna Summer has always been like probably the number one diva for me.
Amazing.
I like disco is where Cara is really rooted in, and disco music and like the era and the fashion and the style of like disco is something I'm so passionate about and I love, 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 love. So Donna Summer and I always say Olivia Newton-John are my two like divas that I love, 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 love. Rest in peace. Those are probably the divas that inspire me. In terms of drag artists that inspire me, I guess, because I work with so many different artists, there probably isn't one artist that I like take direct inspiration from, but so many different people that I take little bits of that kind of make up Cara. Some Perth queens that I take inspiration from. Alexis Armstrong is like one of my favorite drag queens of all time. She is such a workhorse. She is like so multiverse. She does just about everything, and she is someone who I really look up to and take inspiration from. In Perth is probably who I seek like a ton of inspiration from. And
Yes.
I love people who, and just artists in general, who are really motivated and passionate and love what they do. And I love working with people like that. Like, you're so passionate about this podcast and like love telling people stories, and that like draws me to you. And like that's how I get drawn to other people, and that's how I get inspired, like motivation and passion for what they do. And I find it always translates as well. If you like love something and you're really inspired about something, it like really shows in your work. Whereas if you kind of, you know, doing it every day, it's not gonna
happen.
Yeah.
I know the feeling. You have to put yourself in the situation that you feels like this is gonna be working because it's gonna happen because I want to happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's amazing.
But yeah, I'm super inspired by like motivated people and like people who just like go at it and keep kicking goals and like smash through it. And I look up to like, especially during Fringe Festival at the moment, there are so many drag artists and cabaret artists and performers that like smash it out the park, and that's what inspires me, to see other people around me being so successful and doing what they love and being passionate about it. And that makes me want to be like, oh my God, I want to do more. I want to keep going and keep hitting it out the park, and I want to keep doing this. And then hopefully other people around me get inspired to do the same, and everyone just keeps like lifting each other up and leveling up and being more fabulous.
Yes. What's the clues you give for people who start to become a drag?
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Please, I'm begging you.
No more competition.
Oh, no. There ain't no competition. What would I, like, I guess, how would you, I wouldn't even, you have to really love it. If you wanna do it, obviously do it. Do it, please.
Yeah, don't get me wrong.
Yeah. But I think the intentions going into drag are super important. I think if you start with the intention just to have fun and express yourself, then you don't really need like a recipe for how to do it. Just start doing it. But I think the intention of why you're doing it, always ask yourself, why am I putting on this, or why am I putting on this much makeup? Like, what is motivating me to like do drag? I think that is super important, of like why people, like how people should get their start. Really sit and think about it and have your own subtext of why you want to get out on that stage and do whatever you want to do. I think that's the most important.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, look, I think people need to understand that it's you want to start, but start hard.
Yeah.
Or start like with objective. Not just start because it's a trend or because I want to be this or because everybody's been doing this.
Yeah, don't jump on the train of like everyone's doing it. I really agree. I think with Drag Race at the moment and Drag Race Down Under,
it's getting amazing.
Yeah.
The competition is very hard.
Yeah, and I think so many people, even with social media, drag is so appealing to so many, and like, you know, drag is for everybody, and I can't remember who I'm quoting here, but someone, a drag queen that I look up to, said drag is for everybody, but the runway and stage are not. And I think that if you want to be a drag artist and go out to the club and have fun and drink and do all that and do the open mic nights, it's you do what you want. Like, I'm happy to help, but if you really want to take it like seriously and take your drag to like a professional level and really think about your art and why you do this, then I think your intention is really important.
How many hours do you guys, how can I say, rehearsal in terms of dancing? Because I see everything's perfect. How many hours do you guys, do the rehearsing for the week, for example? You have a show on Saturday, you can say.
Yeah, if we have like a 1 a.m. Saturday show, I would say there's probably like 4 or 5 like 3-hour, 4-hour rehearsals before like that show, if we're doing like a multiple run kind of thing, like for 4 to 6 weeks or so. Most of the time when putting like group stuff together, that's done by PodhBe, who's the entertainment manager of Connections Nightclub. And after you work with her for a while, you kind of get used to the way she choreos and the way she works. And if you really focus and you're with the right group of people, you'd be surprised how quickly we can smash it out. We're kind of like, oh, do you remember this from when we did this? Yeah, let's do that. And then we'll do this, and it all kind of like pieces together.
TikTok,
and then
like everybody's doing this, everybody, the crosses.
I don't think you'd see PodhBe doing the TikTok. She wouldn't be caught dead doing TikTok dances on stage.
It's okay. No, but I mean, it's like you memorize some steps.
Yeah. It kind of depends on who you're working with. But for like Connie shows, we normally have like 3 or 4 rehearsals to like do chunks of choreography, and then we go home, watch the videos, learn it, and then we come back to rehearsal like knowing what we're doing. But yeah, a couple. It just depends on how big the show is.
Oh my gosh, guys, it's crazy. I think I'll be freaking out in this time. Like, okay, 3 rehearsals, and then everybody's looking to you with the drink, and I'm like, what these bitches are going to do? I want to see.
Well, that's why when you start drag, a lot of people start drinking, because then, you've got the confidence of the 4 vodka sodas you've had, so it doesn't matter what the audience thinks.
Did you make any course for makeup, or we start for yourself, seeing videos, or you just have a self-learning?
YouTube is like a drag queen's best friend nowadays. I think there are so many avenues to like learn drag makeup. I have never studied makeup. Makeup wasn't.
Is this stunning? Really, well done.
Thank you, darling.
Stunning.
Makeup wasn't really my passion when starting drag. Makeup wasn't the reason that I went into drag. I kind of fell in love with the performance side of drag and the character, and really honing on who Cara is as like an artist. And the makeup kind of came later. Thankfully, I have had many sisters help me with my face. Shout out to Contra, Sassy, Rhonda Civic, who all really gave me like tips and tricks to kind of fix my face. But maybe I'll send you a photo of what I used to look like. I was not a laughing stock, but I was really known for not knowing how to put on my makeup.
Not in terms of this, but in terms like when you start a project. I remember when I started PodhBe, for example, I didn't have this, and I have, for example, logo, which I glue in.
Yes!
And they're falling in the middle of everything, like, choo! Like I said, guys, so hold on. And then I glue everything. So I understand the beginning.
It's important to just, like, start and, like, just do it. Don't, the skills will come later. You learn the skills as you do the project.
Yes.
I think that a lot of drag artists nowadays and, like, bedroom queens and kings and performers, they'll sit at home and practice their makeup and practice their hair so much. And it's, like, that's great. But, practice it and go out and do it, no one's perfect when they first start. Like
No.
every drag artist I know that works full time and does their thing 5 years ago did not look that great or did not look anything like they look now. And in 5 years' time, I'm going to look nothing how I look now.
You look like, what's happening?
Yeah, I promise you, probably even in a year's time, I'll like look back at a selfie from today and go, what was I doing? Oh my God. Because you just kind of like constantly grow and evolve. And so I think just to go out there and do it straight away is like really important.
Yes, amazing. Do you have the dream to go to the RuPaul Drag Race? Or no, it's not your dream?
I wouldn't say it's my dream. It's not the end goal for me. Mm-hmm. It's not the be all end all of getting on Drag Race. I've never auditioned for the show. I'm not saying I wouldn't audition. If the cards fell into the right place and I was ready to audition, I would love to be on the show, and I think it would be a great experience, and it'd be so much fun. I would love to just see Ru in drag in person. Like, not a lot of people get to see that. Like, she is like, you know, she's getting older, but the way she does drag is just like flawless and has been for so many years. I would love to meet her. But it's not important to me for my like career and for my longevity. Mm-hmm. I think some drag artists, now that Drag Race is in so many countries, they hedge all of their bets on Drag Race, and they really want to. Drag Race is the goal. Drag Race, Drag Race, Drag Race, and Drag Race is. They say Drag Race is the Olympics of drag, but it's not. It's the drag queens who have been picked around the country, who have something to show or have a story to tell. It's not necessarily the best drag artists. Maddie Morphosis said this recently, and I think she's really right in saying that. So it's not an end goal of mine. If it happens, fabulous. That would be so amazing. I would love to be on TV. Like, I'd love to sit at home and like have a red glass and be like, oh my God, that's me. And I think it would be open opportunities up to me that I wouldn't be able to achieve otherwise. But it's not the end goal. And I want to tell other drag artists that, you know, there are so many things you can do without Drag Race, and you don't need Drag Race to be successful, or you don't need Drag Race to feel like you've made it, you know? Drag Race is so amazing. I love Drag Race. I'm a huge fan. It's why I became, it's part of why I became a drag artist. But it's not everything. But if World of Wonder calls me,
why not?
I'll say yes.
Yeah, of course. I think it's all about the media as well, you know, like how people are going to see you, and you being the, I know, the media, all the TV is going to be you, all the cameras. Yeah. But there is a bad side as well. There is some people, I heard and I see it, some people, they did some bad comments in the internet. As soon as go to the internet, everybody finds everything. Mm-hmm. I don't know, sometimes it's some naked pictures going on the viral. So you have to be careful.
Yeah, I mean, it's like with anything, not just drag, but when you open yourself up to a public forum, people are going to start to talk about you, and people are going to start to talk about you in a negative space or a positive space. And especially the more notable and the more popular you become, people are going to start digging. And if you have skeletons in your closet, they are probably with social media and the internet now going to come to light. And I guess it's not what you've done in the past, obviously that's important, but how you handle it in the future, and what steps you've made going forward to like move on from anything like that. But it's part of performing, you know, you open yourself up to, you're a public figure, you open yourself up to that, so you have to take with what comes with that, the good and the bad.
Yes. What's the most expensive outfit did you invest?
Oh my God, I hope my mother isn't watching. She'd be so upset with me.
Because you are, as your name say, you're Cara, you're expensive.
Yes. It's, I would say probably, okay, not the most expensive outfit, but the most money I've spent on one individual thing. I used to do this act. It was one of the first acts that I did that I like had really honed in and worked on. But when I was competing at Connections nightclub with for Pop Royalty 2, I did this act to the song Horny from the 90s, and I wear this like silicone suit. You know how drag queens wear like breastplates?
Yes.
I have one, or had one of those that goes from like my neck to like my wrist all the way to my ankles, and it has full frontal female genitalia attached as well. So when I wear that, and it is a nightmare to get into because you have to go through the neck. So like my legs go through the neck into the suit, and I have like a full frontal vajayjay and boobs and everything. That was very, very expensive. I think including shipping, that was like 950 Australian dollars, which is like a lot of money.
It's a lot.
But that thing is crazy and like a bit extreme, and that's not normal. Like not everyone has one of those. That was something that I bought because I really wanted to. I have this comedy act that I do for it. But yeah, that is probably the most expensive item that is at home.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Now I can imagine like you guys always have to be like a good and you buy most of the things like eBay or Shein or different kinds of things.
A bit of everything.
Salvos, you're a big fan of salvos, and you're not going to
Salvos? No, not Good Sammies.
Yes.
Good Sammies. No, maybe back in the day, I would have gone to Good Sammies and gotten a couple bits and bobs. And I still think now you can get little accessories, or if you haven't got big man feet like I do, shoes and belts and yada yada yada. But I think. Me personally, I've gotten to a point in my drag where some of the stuff that I like to wear, like you can't find at Good Sammies and Salvos, and I either will glue stuff together and make some stuff, or get my fabulous costumer to make me some stuff. So yeah, not really a Good Sammy's queen anymore. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Get your op shop, get your life. Stop
I'm sorry, wrong question. What do you think about the gay apps at the moment? Do you think like in terms of relationship, to have a relationship with you, do you think it's a good thing, a gay app? So do you think you get more people know face to face?
Now, I would like to preface this by saying I'm probably not the one to give relationship advice. But I'm recently back on the apps. Say hi if you see me on the grid. I think there's pros and cons. I think 10 years ago, people used to meet each other a lot out at the clubs, and the environment for queer people were very different. And nowadays, a lot of people meet on Tinder and Grindr, and I think it changes the way that we meet people in like a romantic way nowadays. Like not a lot of people, it's very swipey and very tappy and yada yada. I like the apps. I use them. I don't like the ads that Grindr's got at the moment. Not happy. But yeah,
it should not be this way. I know.
I know. I think the apps are a part of gay culture. Like Grindr and Scruff and Sniffies and all that. You don't have to, and it's not like. If you're single, you don't have to use the apps and be on Grindr, but I think it is like a big part of gay culture and hookup culture, and I don't have a problem with that. I am very an open book when it comes to like sex and my sexuality, and being like a free spirit and being a bit naughty, So yeah, I think it's fabulous. Free love.
Yeah.
Free love and free Grindr. I don't want any more ads,
Please. Oh my gosh. So, how are you feeling about the age? So, do you think about this in the future? Like, how gonna be aging? How will be the industry in the future for me? Do you think about this?
Yeah, I do. I'm a very big believer in that. Like, time is of the essence, and I want to do things like now while I'm young and I have energy and I have motivation and I'm passionate and I don't have back pain, or like I do think about age all the time. I recently had a family member. They're nearing the end of their life and they're very sick at the moment, and it's really put things into perspective for me that like time is fleeting. And I know some drag artists out there are like, like take your time and it will happen, and keep working at your craft, and these things take time. But I'm a huge believer in like I feel like time is running out and time is fleeting, and every day is really precious, and I want to constantly do my best each day to try and make use of that time with my like career and my life. And that doesn't mean you don't have downtime or days where like I sit at home and like do nothing, because I love nothing more than like turning on Netflix and ordering Uber Eats like and having a whole day off. But I think about age all the time, and I think about like in mortality is very real, and I feel like my time on this earth isn't forever, and so I want to do as much as I can and live my life as best as I can before certain things might make me unable to. Do you think about? I think about mortality like very often in just terms of like I'm not going to be like this forever, so like make the most of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know the feeling. I live with the day as the last day, but consciously, because you have to plan things of our age. The straight people sometimes come to us. Sorry, I'm saying straight people because it's very common. People come to say you should have a kid. You like,
yes,
you should have a kid.
Yes.
They say like, why you should have a kid? Look after you. I say, who's saying that the kids you look after you never know?
Yeah, you shouldn't have kids if you want someone to look after you.
Go to the aged care.
Yeah.
Someone you look after you just needs to plan.
Yeah.
So it's terms of that. It's like it's crazy. I understand. That's the reason I always myself always want to do something different and not regret in the future, which I should have done. No, I want to do. If it be a shitty, I did. A shitty, but I did. I tried. Experience something new.
Yeah. Do you like because I see my drag in like 5 or 10 years time, and even like 20 years time. Like I really see myself like sticking with this for a really big part of my working life. And even if I don't, am not a drag artist when I'm 50, I'm sure I'll still be involved in the event space or the entertainment industry or performance in some sort of aspect. Where do you see like your career and like your podcast and all that like in like 5 or 10 years time? Do you look towards like the future as well?
Yes, I do. And always when I started this career as a podcaster, I always think like, okay, now it's a trend, but how you see in future? So you be like what? So the good thing is about the YouTube things, videos, and you have your own TV. So you plan, you can stop anytime, you can come back anytime. You have a season, you can have a break. Guys, you have a break, so you come back soon. And the funny thing is and the good thing is, the people understand that. Down things about mental health is so, and the topic that you need to have a break, you need to slow down, you need to do things. I have 3 jobs. As podcast is the 3rd job. So I have 2 more jobs. So you need to, have a break sometimes and say, hey, where is my social life?
Yes, it's important.
What I'm gonna do? That's it's complicated.
Otherwise, you burn out if you don't have a social life and you don't like burn out, especially in the performing arts industry and like media and content creation and stuff like that. You sometimes forget to switch it off, and you're always thinking about what you can do next, and you're always checking your Instagram and checking the TikTok and who's following me and who's messaging me on what's next. But it is important sometimes to like step back, and you can always think about the future, but step back and switch off and recharge those batteries so you can have 3 jobs and a social life and
absolutely. If someone wants to hire you, so how would it be? So it by Instagram or the agency?
A bit of both. I work for, I'm like my own business. I work for myself. So a lot of people contact me through the socials, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, my email, info@misscaraqueen.com.au. Yeah, honey. I work for a couple of agencies or like companies that are like book drag artists. I'm on the books for quite a few. Shout out to 2 companies, Proud Entertainment Group and Perth Drag Queens, who have looked after me and booked me and really supported me since day one, especially Proud Entertainment Group, who's run by Dean Misdale, was the first company to book me for a bingo, was the first company to book me for a hens night. Dean has always supported me. I think I'd been doing drag for 9 months, and I sent my resume to Dean. I don't know if people do that anymore, but I sent my resume in an email and was like, please hire me. I really want to do this. And they took a chance on me, and I'm still working for them nowadays. But usually through me, a little bit through agencies, a bit of both.
A bit of both. Yeah, that's amazing that you have so much things and so much agencies and totally like designed to hire and develop our community, which is, I think, sometimes there is no, for example, my country don't have, honestly, like this.
Like agencies and stuff?
And I develop it just for our community. It's mixed. So everybody's there as everybody's there. So you have to be like internet or something, and you have to create your own stuff and have to be succeed and be like, oh my gosh, yes. You don't have to have 3 jobs. And you suddenly one video yours and go outside and boom. But it doesn't mean anything.
No.
Because now it doesn't mean like having 1 million likes doesn't mean you're earning some money.
Yeah, exactly. Like a lot of people on social media, even drag queens, have like big social media presences and then don't work, or they work like once a fortnight, but they're on social media on their Instagram doing their makeup every single day for content, but it sometimes doesn't translate into getting work. I think having your business mind on is really important if you want to do any sort of entertainment professionally. You really need to have your head switch on. What's it like in like Sao Paulo and Rio? Do queens like come through the nightclub scene kind of? And like,
most of them, nightclubs, and now internet thing. So they start to promote, to get ready with me, clues of wigs, and where you buy a good quality of wig, but not spend so much money. It's more like they sing, like there is many singers in my country now. They're drag singers, like Pablo Vittar. We have a Gloria Groove. We have
Pablo and Gloria are like my favorites. Love them.
The other one that's really nice. There's a many, but Leah Clark. We have what's her name? Jesus Christ, she was in Drag Race Brazil now. Cara Queen.
Oh, love Cara Queen.
Yes,
Yes, because they're on Queen of the Universe, right?
Queen of the Universe.
Cara Queen
great.
is fabulous.
So you have many, but
Pablo's huge as well.
Yeah.
Like she's a superstar.
She goes, I think, in Mardi Gras again this year. I don't know.
Oh, to Sydney.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah,
I'll say hello.
I was talking about you. Yeah, no, but it's a big thing in terms of safety for us. Like in terms of like, okay, someone is representing me in the TV. Someone represents me there. It's saying, it's guys. It's good to be yourself. Be yourself. Fight yourself. But do the right thing. Invest in yourself. Plan your future. Just don't being like, oh, whatever. No, just like doing something, because we're in a third country in Brazil. So you need to plan your future. So you can't expect something from the government like here. I know the government sometimes, but here much better in terms of that.
The government here?
Yes, they're giving so much things in terms of helping yourself. Centralink here. I know it's because many of things here, they have less people than there. You have 214 million people in Brazil. It's huge.
Oh my God.
How can you manage? Yes, how can you manage?
That is crazy.
It's crazy. Even now, I think Australia is 27 million now.
Nowhere near.
Yeah, so it's 10 times more.
I think our government does a good job. I think the government does need to improve, especially with like immigration stuff. I find I have so many friends from Brazil, from Italy, that like struggle so much with like immigrating to this country, and the government make you jump through so many hoops and make it so difficult, and it is so expensive. And I have friends here that have lived here for years and years and years and love Australia and have paid their taxes and brought things into the economy and know more about Australia and Australian culture than almost I do, and they find it so hard to like get on the right visa and get here. And I think that the government needs to probably look into that a little bit more and just make it not necessarily more accessible, but just maybe fix some of the procedures and the changes. And I have friends who like stay up at night because they're like, I need to sort something out with my immigration because the government's making it so hard. Otherwise I have to leave this country that I've been here for 7 years and love it. Like, you know, it's crazy. I think maybe some changes there. And there are so many things that legislations and stuff that
English
the government needs to change
and everything. So it's not easy at all.
Don't get me started. These English tests, honestly, I've like seen some of the worksheets and stuff that you have to do. I have a couple of friends that are doing the English test at the moment and studying for it. I don't think a first language like English speaker, could like pass some of this stuff. Like some of it is really difficult, like unnecessarily difficult, or like the citizenship test and things like that. I don't know. I see so many friends struggle and not many like success stories with like immigration. It's usually a really big battle. So I think the government could focus a little bit more.
Yeah, let's see, government, please.
if you're watching,
If you're watching, please get it easier. Mainly up there, I think age. Honestly, they changed one law now in the moment. They used to accept the people until 45. Now they're accepting people 35 until 35.
Oh.
But the majority of people, they come around 30s to Australia. Less people to come in early 20s. Because, of course, you have a job before, you save money, and then you plan your trip. So it's complicated. I feel bad for many of my people. They are fighting, forget the PR, and suddenly it was like one tiny thing, and then the government changed, and now they are fighting again for coming back and doing all this stuff again. Whew, too much. But government, please, listen to us, change something. How you look after your mental health?
Red wine.
Oh my gosh, impossible. Impossible.
No. I'm quite. I would say I'm quite self-aware and self-critical, and that could sometimes be a bad thing, but sometimes be a really good thing.
Very good people. Yeah.
Yeah. I think if I'm having a rough day, and I've struggled with issues before, I kind of, it's really important to step out and look at the bigger picture. I'm a really big picture kind of person. I'm like a 1-year plan, 5-year plan, 10-year plan. And if my mental health is struggling, all I have to, my kind of tools is just like to step back and like, oh, this is just a period of my life right now that's maybe not going the way I want, or I'm feeling a bit sad or feeling this sort of way, but it's temporary, it's fleeting, things will change, things will get better, nothing's permanent, like very few things in this life are permanent. And so I guess that's how I look after my mental health. Rest is really important, but to look at the bigger picture and don't be so fixated on the moment and everything that's happening around you. That's not the only thing that's going on. It might feel like in your head that that's the only thing going on at the moment, but just, step back and look at the bigger picture and rest.
And plan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And a little bit of red wine.
No, red wine is amazing. I know. But, I look out for my mental health because sometimes I feel like I need to talk to someone beside my friendships and all the things, and because sometimes friends, we are very, how can I say that? They are very nice to us, and they don't judge us. They can feel something bad, but they wouldn't say because I know you're stressed. I don't want to lose you. I don't want to have this big thing. So probably we just like, no, don't worry. It's going to be passing. Take your time. Take it easy yourself. And sometimes, therapist.
Having like a support group of friends, I think for your mental health is like super important. There are so many friends that I just sit down and kind of like we have a drink or we go for a coffee and I kind of talk about my feelings and my issues, and they give me a perspective that's coming from someone who knows me and is a friend, but also like objectively as well. I think relying on other people is at least how I process things, and sometimes process my emotions and my feelings. Is I like to look outside myself and speak to my friends and colleagues, and sometimes puts things into perspective as well. Something that I might be really angry about or I'm really struggling with mentally to someone else, they're like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, think about it. Look at it this way, this way, and this way. It's not that serious. Like, you're fine. And I'm like, oh, yeah, it is. Like, I think a support network is really important, to have those, your chosen family as well as your family that you can sit down and talk to and vent and cry and laugh and
be yourself.
Yeah.
No, that is no judgment.
That is the most important thing for your mental health, is to be yourself. Like, if you are faking how you feel or faking emotions for whoever, I feel like your mental health is going to struggle. Be yourself is like the most the best recipe to success and to like clarity in the mind. I guess the times I've been probably the most depressed or the most anxious are the times where I really wasn't being myself. Like I've had a couple jobs where I work in a super queer, super artsy environment now, and everyone comes in and it's like, hey, and woo. But I've worked jobs in like mining industries, and
wow, it can be a challenge.
Really challenging because you feel like you can't be 100% you, which therefore has like an effect on your mental health. So yeah, I think being yourself, having a great support network, making sure you take time to rest, and a little bit of red wine.
Yeah, red wine. Guys, that's
for me. You don't have to. You can have wine as well.
Yeah, it's your perspective. That's fine. I understand. Yeah, I agree. Honestly, I agree. Life's too short. You need to enjoy. So a little bit of curiosity of you. What are you watching in the moment?
What am I watching? Okay.
You can be any shitty things. I'm watching, honestly, moment. I watched the Prime, Prime out?
Yeah.
I'm signing this. I'm watching the Beautiful Ones Are Daddy. Did you watch it?
No. Tell me, please.
Guys, this is so funny. You have to watch it. It's a TV show for, of course, gays. But it's, they have himbos and they have daddies. And they are crossing over. And they are in the house to find the love.
Oh my god, so it's like Bachelor, but for like himbos and daddies.
It's funny. This is the second season. Sorry, guys. It's so excited. Now the second season, they're weekly. The first season, I watched it like in 3 days. I was so obsessed.
Work. So it's coming out right now?
Yeah, the second season is already out, but it's weekly.
On Amazon?
In Prime. Yeah.
Oh, Prime.
Prime.
Yeah. Prime Video, yeah. Oh, fab.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch that. I'm like, yes, please. If there's like himbos and daddies, hello, call me.
And I like, honestly, I feel it's like the TV shows, even on streaming, they don't put our community in this kind of game. I feel like, for example, Married First Time, I was like, I watched another day, like 2 years ago, I said, what about my people? And my stepmother said, what do you mean your people? Gay people, come on, you have so many in the country. How come we just come with these people, straight? Come on, what about us?
And so many times, especially with those kind of dating shows, if there is a gay couple or a queer couple or whatever, I feel like it's a lot of the time not presented in 100% like positive way. Like,
no.
I know it's a TV show and there needs to be drama and whatever, that's reality TV, but so many times I see when there are queer couples on these kind of shows that they're sometimes like painted in like a negative light, or there's like massive relationship issues, or they never end up together, or I want to see some positive queer love stories. Like I want to see like queer people and gay people just like make it work and like love each other. But I'm watching at the moment. I'm a bit late to the train, so everyone's going to be like, oh God. I have never watched Game of Thrones.
Really?
And so I'm now...
Me neither. I watched the second season only.
It is incredible. I'm like, everyone's like, oh, shut up, Game of Thrones is so long ago. But I'm 4.5 seasons in. I watch it with one of my best mates and my housemate, Sassy Cassie, where like up to a really good bit, I'm like obsessed with it. I wake up in the morning sometimes and I'm like, I'm Khaleesi, like Mother of Dragons. Like it is such a good show. Like it takes a lot of time because each episode is like an hour and 10 minutes long, and there's like 7 or 8 seasons, and there's like 11 episodes each season. So it's like a movie every time you watch it. But I am obsessed with Game of Thrones. I'm a bit late to the party, but
don't worry.
Obsessed with Game of Thrones right now.
Yeah, no, but I totally understand. I don't follow all the trends. Everybody said, oh, you should watch this one. I said, no.
I'll watch one I want to watch.
Yes, exactly. I put it in my list, and then I watch it when I can, because it's not easy. When you arrive at home, sometimes it's 11:30, you have to wake up 6 o'clock. So you do want to watch this, and sleep at the time. The moment is more important to anything.
Sleep is important. You've got to get your full sleep to build the foundations on like the rest of your day, and then I can spend the rest of the day watching Himbos and Daddies on Prime. I'm gonna go home now, like makeup wipe, and then like, oh no, I'm gonna go watch it.
It starts really slow, the TV show, when it starts the first episode, something. But what I like, it's kind of the drama they create, like this guy, they fall in love, because every episode's coming like 7 days in the house. So I start to notice this, they stay together 7 days, and then they have come the second episode, they come like always a new himbo and new daddy. So they
I
swap.
love that.
Can you imagine? You liking this guy, the guy promising everything, they then go and date another guy, and then they kiss sometimes they don't kiss.
Can we organize that in Perth? I want one of those in Perth. You know,
yeah, it
let's
should
do
be
it.
amazing. It's I think in America they recording.
Oh, fab.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Well, let's make it happen here. You can be the host. I'm happy to take one for the team, and I'm happy to cast all of the daddies and himbos.
I love it.
I'll look at the headshot and make sure everything is good, and then you can host Daddies and Himbos Perth.
My mother was watching with me because we were in Margaret River last week, and then she was looking like, what's happening in this TV show? I said, this is my people TV show. Listen.
You watch Married at First Sight, I watch Himbos and Daddies.
Yes, exactly. Stop it. And then she was watching to be like, oh, they're gonna kiss? I said, yes, they're gonna kiss. Yes, darling, open your eyes. We kiss. We do everything like you guys doing. So,
Yeah, and
sometimes.
then some more.
Yeah, to have more friends. Oh, good. So what about, how do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years.
5 years is not too much.
Yeah, no, it's feels like it's fast approaching. I hope that, I mean, my goal in 5 years' time is that I really want to keep moving around Australia. I'm really passionate about touring at the moment, and I've just started to break into like the festival circuit and the fringe circuit, and I think in the next couple of years I really want to build on top of that. But honestly, a lot of stuff with my drag, things have just kind of fallen into place at the right time, and I'm always just like looking forward and like chewing ahead. And I find that as long as I'm focused on like bettering myself each year and constantly working on my craft and working on my drag and my acts and my business, and then success will come and the things that I want will come. So I'm hoping in 5 years' time to be traveling around the country. Fingers crossed, but I am working on a one-woman show at the moment to hopefully premiere it next year in 2025. Miss Cara Unplugged. So stay tuned for that. That I would love in 5 years' time for that show to kind of be done and dusted after like a massive tour. That would be the goal. So yeah, stay tuned for that, Miss Cara.
Of course, I'll be watching. And what about the Fringe? So you're in Fringe now, isn't it?
Yeah, I've done a couple stuff this year for Fringe. My main focus for Fringe this year was I did a show in the first week of the festival called Queens of Sass. That was produced by Sassy Cassie.
Yes.
And that was a massive undertaking for me. I was a big part of helping her get all the admin stuff off the ground, and that was the first time that she'd put on a show. So I really wanted to take the time to support her and focus on putting like the best show we could. And the show went really well. So that was my main goal for Fringe. Other than a couple little bits and bobs here and there, most of my Fringe schedule is a lot of the other drag artists that I work with. Their schedules are so booked out during Fringe that I'm happy to say yes to all of their gigs and take all of their money that they normally do. So I'm really busy during Fringe Festival with some Fringe stuff, but then just pretty much covering all of the other work that the drag artists have their shows for. So I'm kind of the girl that a lot of people in Perth call me like the gig pig and like the gig pig of Perth, because I say yes to everything because I love it, and I'll drive from here, there, and then enter connections at 5 a.m. Like that's kind of how I roll.
Wow.
Yeah, busy month. It goes kind of from like Pride Month into like Christmas stuff into Fringe Festival. It's like really busy for like 3 months, and then in March and April it starts to like become a bit more normal again, and you know, I'm not shaving for the like 6th day in a row. It's like sandpaper.
Oh don't you think it's better for do a laser? Do you guys have done laser before? I did for a while.
On your face?
Yes, I did, because I have problems in my hair, in my face. It's kind of.
I feel your sister.
And every time it's inflaming, and I was like, shit, it will look horrible. And when I did laser, it's coming back after, but my hair never be like so thick.
So you got all here as well,
Yes.
on like on your
I did.
face?
It was really baby face, and then started to be a little bit more older. So leave it. But
I would get laser. It's not. I like being hairy out of drag. I'm the hairiest woman this side of the country. I don't think, maybe apart from Faye, and even then she's had laser. I'm probably the hairiest drag queen in Perth. And I take it with pride. You know, a lot of the drag queens laugh because sometimes we'll be like at a show and I'll like, my arms will be like a little bit hairy, and right before we go on stage, I always have a razor in my bag, and I'll like get my like cup of water and just like.
Oh my god.
And then like run out.
You see, guys, it's not easy as you think.
But I like being hairy. I think that I try and hide it as best I can, but I don't want laser. I think being an Italian, sometimes shaving 5 days in a row, 6 days in a row, you get to the 6th day and it's like,
I know.
But yeah, I don't mind it. It's just all part of it.
What's the beauty routine you do? Just sunscreen, or is it just something else?
In terms of like my skincare, because I'm so hairy and because I shave so much, that leaves me really dry. So I think it's really important to moisturize. I like lather my face in moisturizer, SPF, and cleanser. I'm actually pretty chill with the skincare as long as I really give my face a good wash. But taking a lot of drag artists and even a lot of professional drag artists, I feel like they don't take their makeup off properly.
Yes.
Like you need to like really cleanse your face before just attacking it with a makeup wipe. But yeah, moisturize, cleanse, SPF. Why? What do you do?
No, I'm just. I do. I just put the sunscreen and I do Botox, guys. My Botox is run over.
Botox, I haven't had a top up in a while, but I'm a big advocate to get like, a bit of forehead, bit of frown lines. My mother was getting Botox at like 21.
Come on, you need to have a Botox. I'm 38, so I need to have something just to keep it. I don't want to change my face. I just keep it.
Yeah, just keep it looking
good, fresh.
Well,
wake up.
You look gorgeous. You're looking great.
Thank you. No, I just was doing like the questions, because people did the questions for you.
Oh, fabulous.
Yes.
Thank you if you're listening to the people I paid to send in questions about me.
No.
You'll be receiving your remissions shortly.
No way. So, Brianna asked, the clues to become fabulous.
Clues to become fabulous. It's all in the attitude, Brianna. I think being fabulous is a state of mind, and confidence is the biggest thing. If you have the right mindset about being fabulous, then that is all you need. I think really maybe the visual will come in time, but there are people that I think look like garbage that I'm like, you are fabulous because of the attitude and the presence that they bring when they walk into a room. So I think the mindset is what you need to be fabulous.
Yes, well done. Leandro asked clues to be a drag.
Clues to be a drag. What's a little a secret tip that I could give? Stay cool. Stay cool. Stay cool. It is warm in Australia. We're wearing tights and jewels and boobs and hips and stuff, and sometimes I want to put everything on because it's so fabulous, and then I realize it's maybe not the appropriate time.
And 45 degrees 2 days ago.
Stay cool. Don't sweat everything off. Sweating is, I have it's not true, but sweating to me is so unprofessional. I don't want to sweat. I can't see anyone know that I'm warm and uncomfortable. So stay cool. Stay cool. Stay calm and collected, and not just temperature wise, but stay cool.
Another question. What's your considered perfect makeup for you?
Okay, I don't think there is such thing as perfection, but I will say one person who is perfection. There's a drag artist in Perth. Her name is Ruby Jules. If you're a big fan of makeup, go follow her Instagram, follow her on Facebook. She is in Perth, the blueprint for makeup. Drag is meant to be seen on stage from really far away, and especially after 10 hours of drag, no one should be within 1.5 meters of me, stay away. But she is she is flawless. Her technique is immaculate. Her shapes, her colors, everything is she is perfection. Ruby Jules, her makeup, done. Ruby Jules.
Yes. And another question, who inspires you?
Who inspires me? I guess before I said Donna Summer, Olivia, Alexis Armstrong, I guess a big inspiration other than those would probably be my grandma. She's a massive inspiration for me. Just the way she holds herself and the way that she acts is something that really inspires me and sometimes reminds me to be a bit humble. I'm an extroverted person, and even out of drag, I'm always and on and talking, and the way she holds herself as a woman and a mother and a grandmother and just a person in general, I really aspire to be, and I'm really inspired by her. I love her. Shout out to my grandma.
Oh, yes. Well done. Okay, let's go for a war moment.
Okay.
Do you remember war? Do you know you have some Brazilian friends. War is a gay slang. War.
No, tell me.
Yeah, war is a gay slang. It's an old-fashioned slang. People say war. This is war. This is like it's bad. But no, many people using war because they think like it's an old slang. But I'm an old gay guy, so I'm using old gay slang. So what's considered for you? It's a war moment at the moment that it could be changed. Could be worldwide behavior. Can be something that you don't like. Or could be worldwide. Can be here. Can be in whatever you.
What's yours? What's your like?
Look, for example, one moment for me, it's the way, for example, the government change rules all the time. Okay. Honestly, it's a war moment because I see many people drop the drinks in the country and come here and came here to realize, and they follow a drink, they invested some money, they are doing everything correct, and then suddenly there's change. They have to start again. This is a war for me.
Something that I think like maybe I guess needs to be like changed or something that's not good or like a I would guess what's like my war moment in in Australia right now the rental crisis is like maybe my war moment.
War moment.
If that's what if
makes sense.
Yeah, that is probably like my kind of like my big annoyance with the government in Australia and like probably the issues that you have with them constantly changing and the immigration stuff and them not assisting people in the way I have seen so many friends, family, colleagues struggling with the rental crisis right now. And I know that interest rates are on the rise and like not all landlords are assholes, but I just think the government really needs to step in and make some big changes because I know people who are moving back in with their folks after like being out of home for 15 years because they can't find a rental. Or you go to a rental and there's like 50 people lined up for this one bedder in like a really bad suburb in Perth. So I think that needs to be worked on a little bit.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. And guys, let's stay from here. Thank you so much for watching us. Miss Cara, I want to say thank you for sharing your beautiful story. Share about yourself. You're a gorgeous, adorable person. And I believe, and I'm totally 100%, I'm going to see you soon worldwide.
My God, thank you so much.
I believe it.
I'm sliding the $50 underneath the table right now. Like, thank you for those words.
Yeah, no,
the
absolutely.
PayPal will come
You're
through.
very talented. You're very humble. You definitely one of the greatest drag queens at the moment here.
Oh, thank you so
and you
much.
need to know this.
Oh,
I
thank
like
you
to
so
tell this
much.
for people because I what I learn. It's better you say than you hold the secret. If it's a good thing, tell people. It's a good thing.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Of
I've
course.
loved being here. I've
course.
watched so many episodes on YouTube, and the Brenda Wee episode was the reason that I started watching all of them because it was so fabulous. So thank you so much for having me.
Of course. And guys, please, I'll leave the QR code on the screen for Miss Cara Queen. Follow her in all the social medias. And one last question: how are you dealing with social medias, like in terms of all changes, the trends, and things like that?
It's something that it's part of our job, it's part of content creation and media and being a personality. Social media is something that you have to kind of at least know a little bit about now if you want to get started in the entertainment industry. If you're already kind of got a bit of a profile and you're working a lot, some people don't need to, but I struggle with it. I think having like a plan of like what you're gonna do is really important. It's not something that comes naturally to me. I really have to sit and grab my phone and focus on, okay, I'm gonna tell a story or post a reel or something. But it is tricky, I'm sure you know, to stay on top of things. And I'm on Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok. Like I've got them all.
Oh my gosh!
So I'm trying to manage all of those, and I'm not very well, but I do. It's tricky.
Find someone to organize this.
Yeah,
I
do.
Free time.
I need a team of people just to do everything, just so I can rock up and blink my eyelashes and drink my red wine.
That's amazing. Guys, please follow the Miss Cara Queen on the social media, and also PodhBe. If you want to like this episode, please share in all your platform for your friends. And thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.